In the shadows of a past we've known, two souls lost, but we found our way home. Through the whispers of doubt we learned to stand. With a love so bright we've walked hand in hand. You cracked the walls with your laughter so free. I'm the strength in the storms, we're a symphony. With every step we rise above the pain, breaking generational chains. We're born again. We're the fire lighting up the night. Together we shine. It's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here. From the ashes of yesterday, we draw our strength. With courage as our armor, we'll go any length. You remind me of the light when the darkness creeps. In your eyes there's a promise, a love that deeply keeps. No more chains can bind us, we've learned to heal. In the depths of our hearts lies the power we feel. We're shining the truth, letting the world see. Together, forever, just you and me. We're the fire, lighting up the night. Together we shine, it's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here.
Hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you. I was trying to
This
catch
sister.
everybody trying to say hi to everyone in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for staying up past your bedtime.
I know, we saw that. That's amazing. Somebody asked where we got that song, and our daughter actually created that for us on AI. She typed in all of the things that she wanted it to represent for us and then came up with that song. And so, yeah, she's
amazing.
She's amazing. She
amazingly
made us both
talented.
cry our heads off the first time we ever heard it. We were like, no way. But it's a very long song. It's about 5.5 minutes. So we just decided that we'll try to play like the first couple of minutes while we allow people to get on the live. So how is everybody doing? We've got a couple of mods on today. Thank you so much. We've got Katie and Rosa on here. And so we love having them. And we do have Corey's mother here, but she might come in and join us. I don't know that she'll get on camera or answer. She might answer a question or two. We'll see. But she's here watching us now too, which is kind of fun. We have her staying with us for a little while. But yeah, we've been, obviously, if you've been watching us for a while, then you know we've kind of been going through some ups and downs on some healing stuff that we've been working through. And one of the things that in some meditations that we have been going, we've both been doing a lot of meditating lately. One of the things that kind of came to me is that I wanted to start asking people on our lives, because we definitely like to go live once a week if we can. What are some of the things that you've worked on and healed through this week? Or even if you haven't healed through them, what are you actively pursuing or actively working on in healing? So for me, I'll go first.
Yep.
So one of the biggest things for me, and I really, really, really want to thank, there's an ex-AUB member that follows our channel that has been reaching out to me that I just appreciate so much because I feel so seen by her today. One of the things I've been working on is I've been really struggling with some hurt feelings over family members who were never a part of the AUB, never wanted to be a part of the AUB, or left already, who have really been trashing our channel, have really been trashing Corey and I, and really
Love you guys.
People that I have just adored and absolutely have been shattered and heartbroken over the gossip that they have said to people. And it's been really hard because they're people that I hold very dear to me. And so that's been really, that's what I've been struggling through for the last couple of months. And this ex-AUB member, I feel so seen by her because she was just saying that she's like, keep doing what you're doing. And that is, even though they're out of the cult, they've been out of the cult, that is part of the cult training. That is part of, they haven't deconstructed or been able to work through some of that. It's, we tattle on you, you tattle on us. And then, we kind of, that's how people keep each other in check, if you will, which is very unhealthy. It's a very toxic way to keep people in line. And so when she wrote that out to me today and sent that message, I was just like, thank you so much. I feel so seen because I've really been experiencing that. Hopefully, did I explain that correct? I'm a little flustered with the whole back and forth we just had, because for weeks now, I've been feeling so in despair almost about it because I've been so sad about it. And then after talking to Amy today, I feel so very seen. And so thank you, Amy. I appreciate your comments.
Well, and I almost feel like it's a way we grew up. We grew up that we keep the secrets within our family from our community. We keep the secrets from the community within the community, unless that person is leaving or has left, and then they are shunned, they are gossiped about, especially if they turn around and talk about that community or that family. And so there really is hard to have open communication within the community, within the family. A lot of the questions that I had, it was like, that's a lesson for a later time once you've made covenants and things like that. So is that from our childhood, that once somebody within our family speaks out about something that went on, or is that I don't know, is that something that we're like, oh my gosh, attack that person? So I like it. I've tried to change my thought patterns on that also. That when we're speaking out, when I've got family members calling me and talking about it, that we can have a honest communication about the problems.
And I think that's, and so I noticed somebody said, and Mel is a people pleaser. I'm actually a recovering people pleaser. I'm in recovery now. It's not something that I want to like claim on myself anymore because I'm in recovery over it. And that is one of my goals that I've been working on this year, is that if it's uncomfortable or brings any amount of not peace in my life, then I'm eliminating it from my life. So Rosa, one of our mods, says, I'll add mine too. I got a second piercing literally just today. So continuing to work on my body, my choice. That is actually really awesome. Exciting for Rosa too, because we were born and bred into a society where a woman's body is not her body. It belongs to her father, and then it belongs to her husband. So that's amazing. I'm super excited for you that you have hit that. And
and piercings and tattoos and choice of getting both of those were definitely frowned upon growing up in our you were supposed to keep your temple clean and pure based on
Right.
our upbringing. So
Right. And this is what Sherry says. So why would non-members of AUB bash you at all? Keep doing great things. I've been very, very surprised, honestly, because I feel like it's our family. It's my family, especially those that have never had that never. And what I want to say to some of them is you're welcome. The reason that you were not so deeply ingrained is because I left early and you didn't have to break those chains because I did. And if I hadn't have left when I had left, some of my siblings and some of my sisters would have been so deeply ingrained into this culture, they would have had to been trying to break away from it now too. And somehow now it's not about the things that have been said and done to me. It's they're angry that I'm talking about them. It's not about my dad posting literally a blood atonement call on my head on Christmas Day. It's the fact that I'm talking about it that they're having a problem with. And I'm like, what? And so it's been that is very rough for me. So let's see. Yep, I agree with this one, Jody. I have to get rid of toxic people and go no contact. That's exactly what I have been going through this last little. I'm just making my circle very small. And yeah, greetings from Planet 5. This is where I am.
I agree.
If I'm contorting myself into weird configurations to make everyone else happy, it's probably something I just need to step away from. This is going to be a big lesson for me this year, especially because being the oldest, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, not to pick up things that don't belong to me emotionally. And now it's just coming to where now I'm being able to put words to some of the emotions and feelings I've been going through. So
I'll chime in here. I started walking out in nature again. So getting my daily walk in is what I'm working on. And I'm started the 4 agreements over again. So I haven't listened to it for a couple months. So I thought I would listen to the 4 agreements while I'm doing my walk out in nature every morning. So that was fun today. So
yeah. Yep. So, okay, let's see. I'm going to try to get some of your guys's, some things that you guys are going through. Oh, I love this one. And if I don't hit your question or your comment, please repost it because I am going to try to catch them. Working on setting boundaries with family members who are not good for my mental health. One, which is 93-year-old mother. It's hard for me not to think I'm abandoning her. Yeah, I feel you on that one, Sharon, and that's been a big one for me lately too. So my heart is with you on this one. I don't know always how to handle this exact case. Yeah, that's a tough one. So, but boundaries are so important. It's important for you. It's important for your own mental health. It's important for your children when you are healthy mentally and emotionally too. So yeah, so now Corey is doing his morning walks now.
Yep.
I'm not a morning person. I'm an evening person. So I will be going and doing some in the morning or in the evening. Let's see if I can get.
Yeah. A lot of neighbors out. A lot of our neighborhood was out this morning, and all the birds and.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a song. All the birds and flowers
bloom in the tiki room.
Yeah. Tiki room as we were walking through our neighborhood.
Yeah, we have a ton of birds in our neighborhood too.
Yeah, the neighbors, there's some of them I'm jealous of their yards. So
yeah, we gotta do my yard work. So. We have a fairly large yard and we got a lot of work to do. And now we don't have children living at home to help us with the yard work. So now we're like, what are we gonna do? One of the things while we're on this, talking about like what are people doing to heal, I just again really encourage people to do your healing work, whatever that looks like for you. We've been doing a ton of meditating, we haven't been in the hot tub so much lately because it's been so like rainy, cold, rainy and windy. And we live at the mouth of kind of at the mouth of a canyon. And so the wind will come down out of that canyon and gets really cold. But I wanted to get to this one. This week, I'm processing through codependency traits. Oh, Corey just jumped it.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I thought you were on this one.
No, it's okay. Codependency traits. Oh, shoot. It jumped. Okay. And traits and parental emotional immaturity. Yeah, Billy, I feel you on that one. Thank you. I feel like this type of healing is not just linear. It's just not just for religious. It's for all of us. All of us go through it, regardless of what background you came from. Go ahead.
No, I just feel like that as we heal ourselves, what I've noticed that when I'm healing myself and working on myself, it tends to heal both ways. My children below me and my family behind me. So
yeah. I want to get to this one. Okay. On another channel, someone said about a former member. So they left Scientology, but Scientology hasn't left them. And it was very accurate. People can leave groups, but they also must deconstruct.
I absolutely agree.
And what's interesting, go ahead.
No, I'm constantly trying to deconstruct. Is this thought pattern that I'm using right now from the dogma that I grew up with? Is it helping me or is it harming me? And is it helping the people around me or harming the people around me? So I'm constantly changing my thought patterns, my attitude, re-educating myself. So
yeah. And honestly, there's so much to this. Oh, Paula, I'm so sorry. Honestly, doing a lot of sitting around on a donut cushion, fractured my tailbone a week ago yesterday. Oh,
did that as a kid.
Corey still to this day lives with roughness from that. I'm so sorry. So you've got some physical healing as well as and then So Blessed says, I ordered the 4 agreements for my son after reading it. So powerful. It is one of the most powerful books I have ever read in my life. I bought it when it very first came out, and I feel like that's how we parented our children.
I'm constantly reading it because I feel like every time I read it, I learn something new. Something that I didn't hear before. And plus I love the prayers at the end of that book. So
yeah,
they're very powerful to me. So
I want to get to this comment right here. Have you ever cut or off or lost someone from your life that is still living and had extreme triggers, even physical things around that person? How did you work through that or start to work through that? I would say yes. I would say that's something that I am currently going through. I've taken breaks from people throughout my lifetime, where I'm like, you know what, I just need some time. And then I kind of go with we've been talking about how we were all born with that internal knowing, natural knowing. I'm reading a book right now where she refers to that as your spidey senses, which I feel like is a lot more of an accurate way to explain that, because I feel like we all can understand what spidey senses mean. And, so when my spidey senses are like, you need to take a break, then I do. And then I try to go with when my spidey senses are saying, hey, it's probably okay to be around this person again in small doses. But where I tend to get lost is I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to have this person back in my life. Let's just go full blown. And then we're back in our toxic cycle again. And so that's where I'm learning this time to take a step back until those chains are completely broken. And it's hard. And I don't know what to do, especially when people are still living and you don't know. It's like, how much time do I have with this person still? You never know when time is over. And so this is something that I am currently working on right now. So I appreciate that comment, because it is something you just don't know how much longer you're going to have with a person until they're gone. And then it was like, did you waste the last several months of their lives or years of their lives trying to break patterns, and is it worth it? I don't know. Will you please keep us updated on how you're doing on that too?
Am I the toxic one?
No, love. I absolutely love you.
I know, but everybody distance themselves from me. I don't feel like I'm distancing anybody from my family. I have to reach out. Are you guys are we okay?
Yeah.
So they distance themselves from me. I might be the toxic one in my family.
Yeah, I wanted to get over it. No, you're not. Yes, I agree with this. Does anyone see a pattern here? Those sharing similar challenges? Yeah, I'm definitely seeing a pattern that a bunch of people are going through here. Jen says, I'm curious about how much of the influence of war connects to religion. I think too, there's an undertone of war going on all around us right now. and we're not going to get into political aspects of things on our channel, but that has to seep into your emotional and everyday responses to life. What do you?
Well, if you educate yourself on war is never a good thing.
Right.
Every historian, every general, everybody that's come back from war, my father, war is horrible.
Yeah.
And if there's other ways around doing it, let's not go to war.
Yeah.
Let's live and connect in peace. So
you're not
they're
toxic.
just
They're just
jealous
jealous of the kilt.
there we go.
Yeah. And so
Just nefarious.
yeah, it's good to see you,
is
Spooky
true.
Micah. Thank you for some of the emails that you've sent us. We've really appreciated those.
Yeah, I'm not. Usually I'm reaching out, trying to connect with family, some more than others. So
yeah. Well, and Corey, you're not toxic, just nefarious, but we love you. I honestly...
I was feeling nefarious today. So
are you? Why?
I don't know.
You're
Just
starting to
joking around with some people online. So it was great. I was just feeling a little evil today. So
Corey doesn't get evil. Well, we say he's evil, but he gets this mischievous little, I'm going to mess with this person for a minute. So,
talk with him with humor. So
yeah. Let's see. I'm no contact with most of my dad's side of the family, and what little is left of my mom's side, they aren't healthy for me emotionally. And one of my cousins on my dad's SA'd me when I was 10. Those are definitely the people to stay as far away from as possible, honestly, because I feel like once somebody has done that, there's very little or no coming back from that. Anyone that can do that to a child, there's very little or no coming back to that. I don't care what the relationship is. At least for me, that is how I have it with my life. I don't want those people in my life at all.
Well, thank you.
Oh, happy birthday, Corey.
You're starting the trend. See, here's my nefariousness.
So there's Corey's family on CJ First Wife of Life. They have a family text thread that they all like to mess around with each other on, and it's actually very funny to watch. One of the things I want to talk about really quick is if most of you have probably seen, my ex-husband found my TikTok and made a few comments, and I decided to respond to them. And I've had some, not a lot, but honestly, one or two criticisms about just leave it alone, just let him go. It's actually very therapeutic for me, because for years and years and years, I always thought this man is going to get away with treating me the way that he did forever. And there's never going to be any sort of, my kids are never going to understand. I was always the bad guy because I'm the one who left. I was always we hate you, Mom, for years, because they didn't know how to process it and handle it as small children. And now, of course, they're so grateful, beyond grateful that I got them out of that situation. And now that they have not been raised this way at all, they understand the toxicity, and they see the toxicity even faster than I do at times, because for me, sometimes some of the patterns are like, it's a loop in my head that I'm like, well, wait a second, that's not that bad. But, so that has been very therapeutic for me to call a spade and actually be able to address it and publicly talk about it, which is one of the reasons I started my channel, is to be able to talk about the untalkable. Like, we don't talk about that. We don't bring that out in public, and being able to actually talk about it and bring it out in public and show the damage that was done. I am so beyond grateful that I did not raise my boys under those circumstances. I am so grateful that my daughter did not. My daughter was raised with a man who respected her as a woman. She was not raised with, so thanks for doing such a good job.
Yeah. Well, what I enjoy about it is, as you're speaking out and talking, the patriarchy that has been in your life does not like hearing you talk about it. And so they both kind of expose themselves. Exactly. Hey, I felt like that I was owned by a father, and then I was owned by a husband, and both of them have spoke out, said,
And both of them raised their hand.
we own them. We own her, and she should shut up and sit down.
Yeah. Oh,
Stop changing. So
I know. And Rosa says those posts from him were just something. Oh, there's more that I just have not posted yet. Those were the nicer, calmer ones. There's more that I've been debating on whether I want to talk about it, because it brings up it actually is conversation, and it's something that we should talk about, because people think Cody Brown was bad. He's not the exception to the rule. He caught himself because he was being sometimes we're stunned at like what he will allow the cameras to record. You're like, dude, you're being recorded. Now these men who don't think they're being recorded are out there throwing up all over social media or throwing up on our posts, and it's interesting to me. It's very interesting. So I'm working on whether I'm going to respond to some of the other ones that he's done, because they're pretty bad. But what he did was he went in there and he commented on it, and then he deleted it. But of course I got a screenshot before. All of our social media handles are the same. Notes to self 444. But I wanted to get, somebody says, I'm glad you're calling your ex. He put himself out there. Yeah.
Well, she's been calling out the ex, and yes, I'm one of her exes. So I've been saying I'm not the ex she's talking about. And so he was like, I am the ex she's talking about. So I loved it.
Yeah.
So took all the heat off me.
So that's been really actually healing for me, because I've had a couple comments like, why don't you just leave it alone? Because unfortunately, too many times it is just left alone. And then these men are left to believe that what they're saying and doing is okay. And we've made this comment on our channel before, that if one person tells you that you're an ass, you can ignore it. But 150 people tell you you're an ass, you probably should go buy yourself a saddle, because you're probably an ass. And so it is very therapeutic for me to just just get it out of my body, just to be able to speak about some of it. And then when he comes back with some of the comments that he comes back with, I'm like, wow. And I did have a conversation with my son about it over the weekend, because a lot of people are concerned about your children. Well, my youngest child with this man is 27 years old. My children aren't children anymore. Yeah. And we have talked to them we have taught our children how to emotionally regulate themselves. They know what to do and so I'm not concerned about my children in so much as if they have a concern, they'll bring it to me and they'll talk to me about it, or they'll talk to Corey about it. So it's not like we're over here just throwing our children out of the lifeboat without a life jacket. They they have the tools that they know how to work with. And so one of the things too, I read a comment on here, and I tell this to my children all the time, that the family that you are creating is more important than the family that you came from. And I tell my children that all the time. The family that you're creating is more important than where you came from. Never let where you came from get in between you and your family that you're creating. That goes for me and Corey. We feel that way about the way we're raising our children, and we want our children to feel that way. And so we very much encourage them to always, that is one of my number one sayings that I've said to my oldest, especially, and all of our kids actually. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to tell them so that there's no hidden joke. They said, my little sister said, happy birthday to me. Today's not my birthday, but we've got a family, text thread with 3 of the mothers on it, and then all of the kids. And I had a sister accidentally wish a brother happy birthday yesterday over the text thread. She's about a month off, and so he was commenting on that, but one of the mothers posted it all over social media, and so we thought it'd be a fun game to kind of mess her up today. So today I wished my sister the wrong birthday too. And so that mother's accidentally wishing them all. It's kind of fun. So tomorrow she gets to wish somebody a happy birthday. So she just did that on mine. So we're being facetious and teasing our mothers and having them wish everybody the wrong happy birthday. So it's fun.
Yeah, no, I think it's funny. his mom this morning was, I walking out in the living room and she's like laughing. What are you guys talking about? It's not your birthday this month. So yeah. Thank you for showing such.
You're not in that text?
Nope.
Oh.
For such strong boundaries. Your channel is so healing for me. Things I didn't know I was experiencing. Thank you. And I did see that comment. You lose power if you still have them in your head. I actually never think about my ex-husband. I really don't, unless we're talking on this channel. He has no emotional, like literally nothing. I am not emotionally attached to that man whatsoever. It just is funny to me that he thinks that he does live rent free in my head, because he really genuinely doesn't, unless he makes a comment. And then I'm like, all right, you want to go down this? Let's do it then. You want to dance? Let's dance for a second. So it's really not something that I lose sleep over. It's not something that I give a lot of thought to. When I make a response video, it's literally me sitting there and just going, okay. But my son, when I had the conversation with him over the weekend, he had some family, he had one person come up to him a little bit concerned, like, how do you feel about this? And he's like, I think it's about time my mom started calling this crap out. I think it's about time we are living with it. Not secretly, but like just on text messages, and it gets exhausting, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. So it's not something that I lose sleep over. I promise. It's not. That man stopped having any really emotional control over me. God, probably, wouldn't you say 25 years ago? I don't know. It's been a while. I don't have any, or would you say it still has some? Over me personally, no.
Wow.
But when it comes to my kids, then sometimes, yes, I do get very emotionally attached, because some of the abuses that he still does to my children
She
are
becomes
just
a mother bear, yeah.
beyond. Yeah, I definitely, the mother bear side of me comes out.
Yeah.
No.
So, and she usually chastises him and put him in line. And then he's like, oh my goodness, she's talking to me. I'm super excited about this. And so.
Yeah. No, I definitely, Jody says good, because it took me years to stand up. No, I definitely have no problem telling this man where to get off.
Did all of your mothers remember all of the kids' birthday? Yeah, for the most part. We all grew up in the same house. And so
yeah.
I don't know if they remembered them all, but yeah, every year I get a happy birthday from all my moms. So
yeah.
So
yeah, they are very good about that, huh?
Yep.
And I agree with this.
So social media is very helpful nowadays too. So
it's a delicate balance between therapeutic and empowering responses versus too much and taking time away from you to deal with his BS. You've worked hard on reconnecting with your intuition. You know your line. Yeah, honestly, Corey was stunned when I posted the video, because I didn't tell him I was going to do it. I just sat in here and just made the video one night, because I was like, you know what? I am so over this crap. Because back in 2018, when he thought he stood a chance, he did slap my butt one time at my son's wedding. He came up to me thinking that I was single. No one knew that Corey and I had gotten remarried. We didn't make a public announcement about it. And he thought I was single. And he comes walking up to me and slaps my butt at the wedding. And apparently I lost it on him pretty hard. I have no problem telling this man to shut the hell up. No problem whatsoever. Just like I feel the same way about my father. I have no problem telling my dad right where to stop talking. Sit down and stop talking and know your place. I have no problem doing that. Oh, and let's see. I wanted to get this.
Yes, he should, Micah.
What do you say?
Micah, he should start his own podcast. If he has so much to say.
Yeah. I wanted to get to this.
I would love that
comment right here. Yeah, that would be funny. Melanie, just curious, when you left the AUB the first time and were out for the 2 years, what was that like? Did the ex-hubby number one pressure you all the time to come back? Were still in touch with all your family? So when I left the first time, my ex-husband left when I left, because his reasoning was, if I can't control my wife and her behavior, then I don't deserve to be here either. And so he left at the same time I did. And he has a lot of family trauma, curses, whatever you want to call them, that he's working through too. And I was too. And so he did very, very, very well financially during that couple of years. And then it's almost like he started to self-sabotage himself a little bit because he felt like he had taken Jesus all the way out of his life, where I didn't feel like I had taken spirituality out of my life. I had just taken that religious group out of my life. And but then of course then we had a sick baby, and I thought God was angry at me for leaving, and then I ended up going back. So when I went back, he followed me. I'm the one who went and got and did all of the steps to go back, and he just kind of was like a puppy and followed me back in. Yeah. So he left when I left and went back when I went back. But when I went back the second time, I was different. The first time I was in it, I was controlled and I was told what to do. And I did the things that I was told to do, that my father told me to do. And I did the things that my ex-husband told me to do. Then I went through that 2-year period of getting very self-empowered or self-directed. I was using my own intuition. So when I went back, I was not able to be walked on the way that I was before. And so my ex-husband likes to use the 2 years that I went back as, because then I was like, absolutely not. You know, you're not doing this. No, you're not doing this. No, you're not doing this. And I finally had a voice and I finally stood up for myself. And so he likes to use that 2 years as a reflection of our whole 10-year marriage. And when that's just not the case, I was very, very walked on before then. I was very bossed around before then, but that 2 years out gave me that self-empowerment that I just didn't have. So when I went back in the second time, I was like, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not dating this 16-year-old girl again. No, and so then I had a lot more stronger boundaries than I had before in my first go around. So yeah.
The interesting part is I was kind of contemplating, when did I leave? And I feel like, honestly, I left at 18, maybe even, but I left the community, came down here and worked, did all of that stuff. I had left the community. I was dating outside the community, inside the community. And I felt like that by the time I was 24, they were like, we don't want you dating inside the community anymore.
Yeah. And
so if they could excommunicate me, put on paper that I was excommunicated from the community, then those faithful followers within the community, the women, would not date me at that point. So I feel like that excommunication was just hey, you guys can't date this guy. And then you, of course, disobeyed that excommunication paper and dated me anyhow.
Disobeying everything. Yeah. But they took that 2 years out for me to and yes, I was still involved with my family. Corey and I have been very fortunate that way, that we have not been isolated from the majority of our families. Yes, there has been some family members who have isolated themselves from us. And now there's a lot more now that we have our channel. But back then when Corey was kicked out, and back then when I chose to leave, we weren't as isolated. My father still had, he didn't come to our wedding, and there was a lot of things that he struggled with to get through. But we've been very fortunate to have very supportive families that have been very active in our lives. I did want to go grab this. I appreciate this comment because I feel like this is so true. It's funny how sometimes we need to say stuff to help others understand, and other times we need to say stuff because we need to get it out and let it go. And sometimes those two things overlap. Yep. I thank you. That is so true. And one of the things I've been healing through and kind of noticing a lot this week is other people, when I truly listen, because everyone knows how much I like to talk, then I'm hearing people explain things that I didn't know the words for. And so it's been very nice that way. Oh. All right. Do you have one?
They were scared of Corey. that I would treat them, the women in the community, too good and put them to shame. And I'd probably, and I was only going to treat one of them too good. And yeah, that might catch on where other guys are like, yeah, I don't want multiple wives. So
Somebody says disobey everything is merchable too. That's so funny. I know we got to get more on top. We get chastised a lot for not monetizing and capitalizing off of the people, off of everything on our channel. We just haven't. I was wondering if you know Paul Kingston. He has over 300 children. He is leader of the order. It is just different in doctrine or means in the families. Is it just a difference in doctrine or means in the family size difference? We don't know him personally. I've seen him in real life. But
I've
we
met
don't know
him
personally. You
I've met him when I was younger. Yeah, my brothers and I went to a family dance that they had out there. So I met him when I was younger. They basically believe in a different priesthood line going back. So they have their own priesthood leadership PSRs that they follow, and they just chose to, when there was a split off, they chose to follow their family leader who had been assigned as a council member. And when they were skipped over and Rulin started the AUB, they kept their line going down, is what I think happened with the Kingstons. So a father or grandfather up the line was a council member within the original group. So
I know, and we need to get together with Amanda Ray. She's actually reached out a couple times, and I've reached out a couple times to her. We just have never made that work. I think she's hilarious. I watch some of her TikToks, and the way she delivers some of her messages cracks me up so hard. And I don't know if I would have the kahunas to do it that way, but she's hilarious.
Rose is correct. Yeah, Paul Kingston, the order, is a different sect of the Mormon fundamentalism. Their doctrine has the same roots, but each group practices a bit. I missed it. A bit differently. Right, they do, and leadership. So, but they all basically claim that they're following the original teachings of Joseph Smith on the LDS Church, the fullness of the gospel. I think the dispute between the different communities is where the keys of the priesthood were passed down.
And that's truly where you find the differences in each one of these different sects, is they all believe that they're the ones who hold the true priesthood and the other ones don't. And that's where you find the difference. And then, of course, each man adds his own flair, or each prophet adds their own flair or their own doctrine to, and so until they become a little bit tweaked, and then they're a little bit different. But most of them, it's just literally priesthood lineage. Priesthood lineage is more important than bloodline. And in the order, it seems like, now we don't know that much about the order, but in the order, it seems like bloodline and priesthood lineage are equal in importance. So I wanted to read this one. Great job. It's so hard, but I watch documentaries about people that have experienced trauma or left cults because I'm learning how to say things. And that's very true. I hope you mean you're learning how to say things, and maybe I just read that wrong, but because I think that would be awesome to learn how to speak up and say things differently. Because we're all taught to say things the way that is the most cohesive for the family environment. Thank you so much, Jody, for that super chat. It says, I appreciate you recognize people that have issues not related to religion. You're very validating. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, because it is too. I feel like it's not just about religious trauma, because so many of us have experienced a trauma.
Yeah.
I feel like you're about to say something.
No, I just feel like that as we kind of talk about, hey, this is the trauma that we grew up in and everything like that. All of a sudden I have cousins that grew up in a different religion than me going, hey,
We still feel that
similar.
too.
Yeah, we went through that too. So it is very validating, kind of, to realize that we all kind of have the base. It could have been the way the era we grew up in, things like that. So it's kind of fun to connect with people even within the AUB that I grew up, that I felt like were in a different position hierarchy within the AUB,
Mhm.
that went through very similar situations that we did.
Yeah.
You went through very similar situations. You were high ranked within the AUB. I was a low rank. So
Yeah. Oh, thank you for being here. So blessed, Canadian.
Thanks. So
Appreciate
blessed.
that. I want to get up here to this comment too.
Story time.
Sammy who says, mother-in-law kind of insulting me. I'm usually quick-witted but speechless. But 2 days later, I just laughed. People from certain religions can judge and assume, and her opinion of me is not my business. It's so funny because that is so true. It is so true. And I know that can sound so offensive to some people when they're like, when you say, what you think about me is none of my business. And truthfully, it isn't, but it's so hard sometimes not to take those things personally. And that is part of the 4 agreements. But sometimes it is hard, especially if it's someone that you love, you know.
Rose's position in the AUB hierarchy was 0, none. I feel the same way. Yeah.
I know, but you did have some level of hierarchy in the beginning because of your dad's relationship with Rulin Allred. It was just when after Rulin was taken out, that
so I guess at 6 years old.
Yeah, 6 years old, you had.
I went back down to 0.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had any hierarchy when I was that young. So
I wanted to, sometimes you're scratching for words and they aren't always there. And then it ends up being a word salad of explaining stuff, you know. That's why sometimes I'll say something because it's even more nerve-wracking when you know that there's people watching you. And then I'll look at Corey and I'll be like, did that make sense? Because in my brain it made sense, but I'm not always as eloquent with what is going on in my brain that is coming out my mouth. And so, yeah, definitely. Oh, thank you. Kathleen says, I was telling my friend about you two today. You opened my eyes in the healing process. Oh, I love that.
Yep.
Those are some of the most, like, out of all the comments that we get, those are the ones I love the most. So thank you. I really, truly appreciate that. And yes, somebody recommended a book, Reparenting Your Inner Child. Okay. I have not heard that book. I'm deep in the book it sounds amazing though. I love inner child work. I don't love it. It's a lot of work and it's sometimes can be really dark and heavy, but I think it's so important for all of us to do inner child work where we acknowledge and heal some of the traumas that we've experienced. I
loved can't even remember the guy, but yeah, I did a whole couple months of inner child work. So
yeah,
awakenings of what I went through as a child, and got.
I know I want to make so much fun of something right now, but maybe I should just not. But because what's funny to me is there's a joke. Well, maybe I shouldn't even go there. What's funny to me is when you get 2 people born in the same cult who love to bullshit each other. And then they go to the same inner child workshop. It's a week-long workshop that you go to. And then it's like, oh, I had his BS. And the other guy's like, oh, I had his BS. I saw all the bullshit he did all week. He saw and yet neither one of them came out of that learning very much because they were so focused on the other person and the other person's bullshit. And this is why, if you're going to do inner child workshop, I always recommend that you go by yourself or don't go with somebody who is in the same cult that you're in. And then you guys just sit there and talk shit about each other for 25 years after. And this is what my ex-husband and my father did. They went to an inner child workshop together. And then they ended up just talking shit about each other for 25 years about all the stuff that they watched each other talk about. It was ridiculous. It's been so hard. Was that too much? Did I say too much?
Again, I just feel like I need to clarify. I was not the ex-husband that went to, I didn't do a inner child workshop with anybody I knew.
I know.
Was completely
I just think it's so
alone. But
God, I bit my lip earlier and I got
yeah. So no, this was her first ex and
yeah.
her dad. I had nothing to do
Yeah.
with that.
And so I watched my ex-husband and my dad go through this inner child workshop together. And it's
I'm
like,
glad I didn't.
they just, because they both have such misogynistic ideas of women and stuff, they just played off of each other's misogyny. And it was it's been horrible to listen to. Every time my dad's like, oh yeah, I got him in his BS in that class. I'm like, really? Did you, Dad? Because it sure seems like you two are spewing the same bullshit. Spooky Micah, I want to answer that question really quick. Speaking of mother-in-laws, when marrying into a large family, how is it creating relationships with the mother-in-laws? What if you like a mom that your partner isn't close with? I mean, I can answer that. I just feel like I'm talking a lot. So do you want to answer it?
I feel like that. No, when I married into your guys' family, there was really your mother that I kind of connected with. You didn't go. I really only saw the other mother-in-laws when we'd go to campouts or a yearly get together, and I was friendly with them, but I never had any really connection with them outside of that camp out section.
In our family, was a lot different than Corey's family in the fact that Corey's family lived with each other and they live up on the ranch, the compound.
Yeah.
And so the wives, if they don't live in the same house anymore, they all lived relatively close to each other. And so I have loved every one of Corey's other mothers. I've gotten along with all of them very well. At least I think I have.
Yeah.
And I adore Corey's mom. I've always gotten along with her very, very well.
Because when we'd go up to visit my family, they were all in the same place. Whenever we'd go visit, we'd just go visit your mom.
Right.
Depending on where she was.
Exactly. So. That's where I was getting with that. And so where all of my other mothers, like you've got some that live in Lehigh down. Yeah. They live down there by the Browns when the Browns lived down there. You've got my mom who, they all lived in different areas. So we didn't get together very often. The mothers didn't. And most of my dad's wives didn't really get along that well. Yeah. I wouldn't say that they
would come together once a year.
Yeah. They would come together when they had to, not because they liked to get together. Yeah.
There you go.
Where your mothers, it was very different. I feel like that's another reason why we say the Browns from Sister Wives were so amazing, because all of the mothers were so easily accessible to all of the children. Yeah. And in my family, it just wasn't that way. We didn't have access to the other mothers.
Especially when our kids were young, we would drive up there and they were all in the same house. So you run upstairs to see one of the moms, across the street to see or across the way to see the other mom, and then back down to where. So we were all right there. Our kids all played with my younger siblings. So yeah, it was fun.
I love it. Okay. Sharon says, like, my hope is that my children have less trauma than I did. Yes. And my grandchildren have none. Can you imagine living an authentic life without generational trauma? Yeah. That is what we hope too. And that is why we do the healing that we do, is because I am an absolute believer in what I heal. It will heal in my mother. There's a book out there called It Didn't Start With Me. It's such a great book. I was just talking to my mother-in-law about it yesterday. And basically, at any given point, you can have 3 generations in one body, because if you've got a mother who is pregnant with a daughter, all of that daughter's eggs are in her body at the same time. This is all scientifically proven, whatever. And so you're going to have 3 generations that have those emotions, right? For whatever that one particular mother is going through. It's such an amazing book. And it really does talk about generational traumas, generational healings. And it's called It Didn't Start With Me. Maybe I should tag it in the show notes. It's such an amazing book. And that is one of the reasons why we are actively healing through some of the things that we're healing through. And again, how many times have we as women were told to sit down, shut up, and be quiet, especially by these men in this patriarchy system that we were raised in. And even even a man, you were told to sit down and shut up by other authoritarian men. Yeah. And so as we learn to find our voices and speak out, we are, genuinely working to break some of that generational cycle. At least we don't want to contribute or add more to it than we have to. Yeah. And again, that is one of the reasons why I am so strongly encouraging my children. The family that you're building now is more important than the family that you came from. And if something where you came from, if I overstep and you feel like I've overstepped, then you need to take care of your family that you're building, not me or my feelings. And if I get hurt about that, then that's a wound. Then that's something that I get to work on to break that generational trauma as well.
Thanks, Spooky Micah.
What, where?
Heading out to work. So thanks for answering.
Thanks for being here. Yeah. I love this too. Watching my daughter parent is very validating and healing. She is so much further ahead than I was at her age as a mother and as a person. So I made mistakes and I also gave her better.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel that way.
I feel that way about our kids. They're so much further along than I was at their age. They're so much smarter and they have so many more resources than, I mean, we were trying to grab resources to, okay, I want to be this kind of parent. I want to fix these items from the way I grew up. And we've almost just kind of, here, read this, take care of this. Gave them the books that we were reading and encouraged them to read through. And then they are always finding something different and sending it to us too. So I love them.
Yeah, so. If I overstep or their evil stepfather oversteps, we definitely.
Yes.
Oh, don't forget to like live. Thank you. On his way out the door, Spooky Mike says, don't forget to like the live. Thanks,
you. Spooky Mike.
Check out the book, What My Bones Know. Thank you. I have not heard of that one. I always keep a notepad right here. So if you guys tell us anything new, okay. What is it? What My Bones Know. The other books I actually have heard of. This one I have not. I am actually in the middle of a book right now called Your Anxiety is Giving Me Anxiety. What?
How's your book coming?
Yeah. That's another one of the things I've been working on that I kind of put on hold for the last couple of, I have a notebook right here that I started, but it is something that I kind of put on hold as I've been working through some of these really big things that have been coming up for us lately. So thank you for the reminder, because I was just thinking about that 2 nights ago that I need to get back to that. I have been distracted. I've been letting all of the drama with some of my family members come up, and I've been letting that distract me from what my goals and what my purpose was for this.
Hi, Corey, being born of goodly parents.
That's the beginning of your book.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought Book of Mormon can start that way. I probably can start my book that way.
Overcoming generational trauma is about breaking the cycle. While there are mistakes along the way of deconstructing and healing, breaking the cycle alone is giving future generations a huge head start. Yeah, and I absolutely agree with that. That's why I think inner child workshop or inner child healing is so important too, because then as adults, we learn what we want to do different.
Goodly 10 parents. I'll beat up on Nephi. I had way more parents than he did.
Yeah. So the Book of Mormon starts out, I, Nephi, being born of goodly parents. This is where Corey's getting this line. So Corey's saying the start of his book will be I, Corey, being born of 10 goodly parents. So
that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, What My Bones Know is an incredible title alone. I'll have to check out that book. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sounds like a good book to me. This one that I'm reading, Your Anxiety is Giving Me Anxiety, has been an amazing book already. I'm like 4 hours into it already. It's been,
yeah.
I have appreciated what she's teaching in this book so much. Cause are you all still planning on talking with Christine? Yeah, we're working that out with her. She's just being a little bit slow about it. I guess for her, there's some red tape through TLC that they're trying to work through.
Yeah. So once that's all taken care of, then we can set up the time.
Yeah. So, can you list the books mentioned during the live in the description, or set up a list of your favorite books you can go back to? Definitely can use them. Yeah. I'll write that little note down too. Because I would definitely love to read a couple of these books that we've talked about in here. I've been reading Frankenstein book, one by Dean Koontz. McKelty's book club was Rachel Jeff's book last month, and I needed something purely for entertainment. Yeah, that's we have not started book club up again. The last one really got us, and so we are working on what we want to do for that. We'll definitely be working. Oh, we got mom in here now. So we'll definitely be having a book club coming up soon. It's just we're not sure like where we want to go with it, how we want to do it. And honestly, we are kind of debating on whether just to either do the 4 agreements or continue with becoming sister wives. It's kind of a debate for us right now. We're not exactly sure. Let's see. Do you all work with a therapist, or what do you do for healing? It's a lot of everything. I feel like since I started doing some healing work at the age of 20, there hasn't been a year that's gone by that I haven't done something. Sometimes it just depends on what we can financially afford at the time too. That always plays a factor in some of the stuff we, but sometimes it's group therapies, sometimes it's individual therapies, sometimes it's where we have done couples therapy.
Yep.
I think it just depends on really where we're at and where we're navigating at that point. We haven't done any one-on-one healing for a minute though. Oh.
No.
Book clubs was an oopsie for sure. It was definitely it was definitely a heavy, darker book club. And so I think we're going to try to go something a little bit more light.
I want to answer the question up here.
And somebody says, has everybody read the book, The Body Keeps the Score? That's a fantastic book. Yeah. We love that one.
Yeah, it says, Corey, what do you think are important topics to discuss from the perspective of how boys were harmed when raised in the AUB? And so one of the areas I kind of want to discuss, being a young man raised up in the AUB, is sometimes I felt like we could be disregarded or run out of the community if we were competing with. We really were encouraged to go outside of the community and get married, get a job, add to the community. And so there was almost kind of an expectation that you were to leave. And if you wanted to date within the community, you were highly encouraged not to, unless somebody within the community showed interest in you. So especially as a young man, I felt like that I was expected to go out on my own, to leave, to kind of be, I don't know, abandoned to the world. And so, and the community, especially a lot of the people men within the community, didn't want us around. Mm-hmm. So talked poorly about my brothers and I, and tried to push us out and away from the community. And so that happens a lot with a lot of the young men in the community. So they're encouraged to leave or being pushed out of the community. So until they can kind of go prove themselves and work their way back into the community at a later age. So
yeah, it's not really encouraged for the girls to go out and marry outside of the community and bring men back in, but it's more encouraged for the men to go out, marry women, and bring them back into the community. So yes, I would. Yes. How do you feel? That must have felt like such a rejection and abandonment on top of already feeling both in the sibling competition life of a huge family.
Yeah, it really is. It's that, sorry, our sisters were encouraged to date with inside the community. There were so many people that were interested for our sisters, but we were leopards of the community. Go out, go away, don't compete. You're not welcome to date very many people within the community. So you could go talk to their fathers, and you were being told no. There was one father that said that I could date somebody within the community, but most of them didn't want us dating their daughters within the community. We were go ahead and leave. So yep, it kind of sucked as a kid, as a young man growing up in a lower family within the community.
Right.
So
right. Let's
you
see.
heard leopards. Leper.
Oh, leopard. I see.
Yeah. We were on the prowl. We were hunting.
Oh,
So
a
as
lot of
young
people
men-
are saying hi to you, Shar. She's like, oh.
Hello.
Let's see. Oh, they don't. We just said you came in, and so we just said, oh, mom just came in to say hi.
Yeah.
So they're saying hi back to you. Oh, did
Yeah.
it? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, my sister's right there. They also don't excommunicate the girls like they do the boys. When the girls do something bad or disobedient, they just get rebaptized and married off. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So, and the boys are made an example of and excommunicated so that the young ladies of the community will not even look in their direction. And their parents, this is why when Melanie was leaving or had left the community, I did what I was trained to do and went and talked to her father. Her father said, absolutely not. I had been excommunicated. So, and then it was up to Melanie's to make the decision. Well, I'm still dating Corey no matter what. So,
Right. Look at me learning to find a voice.
Yep.
Rosa says, I was one of the only girls my age that was never pursued by a married man. Really? Okay. Yeah. Cause I at 11 years old had quite a few. Somebody says, who's your favorite son and why did you pick Corey?
Her favorite son and why did I pick?
She said she has 6 favorite sons.
And the most favorite daughter. Yep.
Only
one favorite daughter, 6 favorite sons. So
yeah. Let's see. They also don't excommunicate girls the way they do the boys. When the girls do something bad, they just get rebaptized and married off.
I just read that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was looking at your mom. Sorry, I missed that. I wanted to get back up here to the EMDR. So EMDR, I have personally never done EMDR, but Holding Out Help, that is one of the things that they offer at Holding Out Help for anyone who's come out, specifically for polygamous people who come out of trauma situations. They offer EMDR there. Some of my sisters have done a lot of it. I know a lot of my family has done it. I just personally never have. I know even some of my children have done it and I just never have done it. So it is definitely something that I have wanted to look into. I just haven't. This last year, I feel like we started this channel and it kind of took off so fast. And I feel like that in and of itself has been such a healing opportunity for us that we have just been deep in that. So something that we're definitely, let's see. Lainey says, late today. So sorry if you've already mentioned this, but there is an ancestral healing prayer by Elizabeth Kipp, which is beautiful. You send healing light right back through the generations. I'm actually going to write that down. It's probably one that we've already, Elizabeth Kipp healing prayer. It's probably one that we've already done. When we do our meditations, we'll do a lot of healing prayers with them. And that might be one that we've already done. And I just don't know. It's from Elizabeth. Let's see. there was something else. I just went into Audibles and downloaded the book you're reading. I really need that with my mom. Oh, I hope you enjoy it. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm not quite halfway through the book. So hopefully it's a good book to finish. I apologize if it's not, but I haven't gotten all the way through it. What?
The one you're reading?
Your anxiety is giving me anxiety.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But her name is
4 Agreements.
Elizabeth April is her name who writes it. Thank you for your response. Helpful for me to as I get ideas of what to do in healing. Yeah, honestly, I feel like when you start to heal and you're intentional about your healing, then pathways open up. Pathways start to open up, and then they start to present themselves as, now all of a sudden you're doing EMDR, or then all of a sudden you're doing inner child work, or then you're doing one-on-one healing with just any type of therapist. So I feel like once you get very intentional about healing, those opportunities open themselves up. Somebody says EMDR is really good for PTSD. I've heard that too. That's another reason why I've wanted to do some of it.
Yeah, I had a couple of my brothers were excommunicated along with me. A couple of them went, they had young ladies within the community that were interested in them. And so they went through a rigorous shaming process from the community, from the leadership in the community, where they eventually were able to marry. And some of my brothers just went outside the community and married. One of my brothers married within the community. Him and his wife were just like, yeah, we're not getting permission from any leadership, and went outside of the community. But they grew up together, grew up in the same community. So
yeah,
Melanie and I got married without priesthood approval or blessing, so which is good.
Yeah. Rosa said, I've done some EMDR. It's great modality for trauma, especially for people who have not really healed a lot of those triggers. Yeah, I actually do want to give it a try. I just haven't yet. I need to find a good therapist, I guess, to go to. I know some of my family have seen one up at the University of Utah here. I know that there's a lot of my family that have gone there. And I know that Holding Out Help offers some too. I just have never taken advantage of any of Holding Out Help's because I try to leave that for people who haven't deconstructed as much as maybe I have already. Yeah. Can I ask you a question? You can ask it. She's like, you can ask, but doesn't mean I'm going to answer you. Somebody says, were you cautious of me when I first started dating Corey because of who my father was in the AUB? Was I cautious of you? Yeah. No, she loves me. No. I'm her favorite daughter-in-law out of all of her daughter-in-laws, right? Yeah. I have the best daughter-in-law. You do. But were you cautious when I started dating Corey? Were you concerned about it? No. No?
Just thankful that I was dating again.
Just thankful that you were dating. That you weren't going to be alone.
Yeah. I was one of...
Yeah. She says no.
I was one of her oldest sons. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I hadn't dated in years, so.
Yeah, no, she was really grateful, I think, when Corey and I started dating.
Yeah.
Yes, I tell her yes, right? I wanted to get to this one. Rachel Jess, I actually just connected with her on social media, so there's a couple of people I thought about having come on our channel. I'm writing her name down too. That we'll see how they
guest on those. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of them who have done the Netflix series, The False Prophet, they're just getting overwhelmed with requests right now. So we're going to kind of let it come down just a little bit before we get them over here. What's the other book you usually say that you like even more when people ask about The Body Keeps the Score? It's called Metaphysical Anatomy. And it's a Bible for me. I literally have it on our coffee table in our living room, and I refer to it all of the time. I literally got a bee sting last year, and I went through that for the bee sting. It was great. And so Metaphysical Anatomy, I can't remember who wrote the book, but you can get it on Amazon. You can get it pretty much everywhere.
Mom. Blink twice if Mel's answering your questions for you. Jay Bedell says, blink twice if she's answering your questions.
Yeah.
So
They think I'm just putting words in your mouth and making you answer for me. Or I'm just
she's a
answering the
favorite.
question for you.
Well, I would let you know if you were.
No, she'll let me know. Let's see. Oh, we'll get Corey's sister's question or comment. Go ahead and read it.
Oh, she goes, I remember my mom struggling with our brother's excommunications. Was it hard for you when your boys were excommunicated as it was my mom?
For me,
Yeah.
Katie's asking if it was hard, like her mom struggled when the boys got excommunicated. Was that hard for you too?
no, because I didn't believe it.
Oh, what?
It wasn't hard for me because
Yeah.
it's men.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she says no, that it wasn't because she didn't believe in the men who were excommunicating him.
Yep.
And so she didn't struggle probably as hard as Joyce, sorry, I said that mother's name out loud, as her sister wife. You have to go delete that part out. But because you didn't believe in the men who were doing it.
I knew my son, and I knew that the grounds that they were excommunicating on wasn't true. So,
Yeah.
And I've been excommunicated from the church and didn't accept that one either.
Yeah. So she said
she's disobedient.
She said it's because she knew who her sons were, and she knew them to be good men and didn't believe in the men who were excommunicating them. Sorry, we didn't tell her we were going to ask her questions, so I didn't want to put her on the spot too much. But let's see. I'm going to try to catch up a little bit. I have not watched the watermelon video. I have seen it come across my news feed a couple of times, but I haven't watched it. With Jaden Jeffs, it says the watermelon video was wild. That is a huge cultural difference between the AUB and the FLDS. We just don't have a lot of that type of legalistic, non-religious stuff. So apparently I'm going to have to go watch this now, is because it's come across my news feed. Since we've been making content, I always don't consume content because I just feel like we're constantly just creating content, and it just feels like it's just a lot. Somebody says, I like the video where it's just the two of you much more than when you talk or interview other people like Christine, etc. I like your dynamics. Corey's mom seems so sweet.
They are.
Thank you. Yeah. You two are such great people. I love listening to you. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that.
We're going to make her watch.
We're going to make your mom watch the watermelon.
Sister Wives. So I don't know.
Oh,
we've been
at least mom,
catching her up on Love on the Spectrum. So it's touching.
We love Love on the Spectrum because it just feels so innocent and pure to us. And so we've been watching that
gives us good, happy feelings.
Yeah. When the world feels so
Sister
dark and
Wives.
heavy, sometimes we just like to watch that because it feels so genuine and true. Let's see. Okay. Yes, EMDR is designed to reintegrate trauma. It is very physical, tangible, in a very physical, tangible way. It's a way to process the trauma rather than reopening the wound. There is a physical component to it. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to look into this because it keeps coming up for me lately. So when people ask, what is it that you do to heal? That is, when I say that you go into one healing modality and then other things start to appear, that is what I'm talking about. So for me, EMDR, if something comes up for me 2 or 3 times at least, that's when I start to go, okay, there's something more here that I need to look at. And so that's what I say when you pick healing modality. Let's say you're talking to a therapist and then something else comes up. So EMDR now has come up for me multiple times over the last couple of weeks. So for me now, I will look into pursuing EMDR because it's coming up. And so hopefully that makes sense, that's where I will navigate what modality of healing I will use next. And like when we did ayahuasca was coming up for us a lot. And so now ayahuasca has been coming up for me, at least more and more lately. And Corey's like, I'm not doing it again. It's so it's a lot of work. It's not an easy process. But for me, if something starts to come up 3 times, then for me, the number is 3. For someone else, it could be 5. For someone else, it could be 4. But for me, the number is 3. If I hear about a healing modality 3 times or more is when I will start to really pay attention to that modality and then move that direction. Oh,
were the young men kicked out so the older men could marry the younger girls? This is the way that it was. The young girls were encouraged to marry within the community. They could marry righteous young men within the community or established family. A lot of times they would choose, some people would choose like Mary and Cody to start a family, and then other women would be interested in being a part of that because they needed 3 to get into the celestial kingdom. So, but the women the young girls were encouraged to look within the community for a husband. The young men were encouraged to look outside of the community and convert wives to bring into the community. And so, yeah, my sisters were definitely encouraged to look within the community. We were more encouraged to look outside. There were some people that I did date one girl inside the community. So, but, well, I dated 2, but I was just one of the many that they dated, and they both chose husbands within the community. So,
yeah.
And not me. I was too low on the totem pole. So,
and I didn't know when I started dating Corey, I had no idea that there was a totem pole. I didn't know Corey was low on it.
She was at the top of it.
I still don't think that he was low on it, but I mean, I thought he was amazing. And so that's why I had no problem asking him out. So, and look how heavily I pursued you.
Yep.
And yes, there was a comment that just went by. I will be linking all of the books that we're talking about. So, yes, okay, sorry. This comment just caught my attention. I will link those in the show notes, so you don't have to worry about going and finding them. I will go pull them up and put them in the show notes when we're done. Sorry, this comment got me. Be careful, Mel. Polygamy came up 3 times for Cody in the beginning, and look what happened there. That's a funny comment. Because when I was saying the different modalities of healing, if it comes up for me 3 times, then that's what I'm going to do.
The 4th went down.
Let's see. I have a difficult time forgiving the people who have harmed you in order to heal. The people you truly love deserve it, but the rest do not. What's your opinion on this? I know this sounds so cliche because you hear it all the time. I don't forgive people for them. I do it for me. And it is true. Like, holding on to the anger and hatred towards somebody is like holding on to a hot coal. You're the one who gets burned, not them. They don't care. They're out there living their lives. They're out there doing their thing. You're the last thing on their mind. They don't give a crap about who you are or where you are. So if I'm going to work through the forgiveness process, it's for me. It's not for them. And so if they never, ever, ever hear that I forgave them, I don't really care, because it's not about them. It's about what's going on inside of you. And I know that sounds cliche because I know everyone says it, but it's so true. It is so true. I wanted to get back over here. Okay. As a 10 out of 10 on the adverse childhood experience test, EMDR has the most healing therapeutic modalities for me, along with the Aldarian-based group work. I haven't heard of that one either. Man, you guys are giving me a ton of stuff to look up today. This is going to be awesome. Aldarian group. Okay, thank you. Well, EMDR it is. I guess we're going to be doing that here soon. Okay, what's a good question? So Luke Tape says that was a good question. Which one was it? Did I miss it? Let me find it.
In the community. Yep. I married up the community.
Oh, that was that the question about the young men kicked out?
I don't know.
Rosa responded to that saying, it's a bit less of being kicked out, though it does happen, and a bit more of just a lack of opportunity because the competition is so steep.
Exactly.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would absolutely agree with that. The AUB doesn't do too many kick outs per se. Corey's family just like hit the jackpot and had 2 boys at the same time. Like, I don't know.
2 excommunicated. There were some being tried to be pushed out, but her mom kind of came to their public shaming meeting, and basically chastised the men, and they were allowed to date within the community.
Right.
But they had to go through I don't know, a public shaming meeting within the community to date and marry those girls within the community. So
I don't know about this one. Did I understand that right? That the moms also get blamed for their sons being excommunicated? Did you feel that way?
no,
No, I don't think so. At least, not in my experience, but you and your brother are the only 2 I know have ever been excommunicated. I don't know anyone else who ever has.
yeah, no, within, yeah, it's, my mom said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you had been excommunicated from the LDS church for living polygamy.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe that excommunication, and so didn't hold much faith in that, that they were doing the right thing. So sometimes, yeah, excommunication is just something on paper that you can ignore. So so as long as you don't document it in your church history or in your family history, then it never happened. So I just am proud of my excommunication paperwork.
He literally has it framed over here.
I actually moved it in the other office.
Oh yeah, he's got it framed in a picture frame.
Yeah.
So that, have you seen it in the picture frame? Yeah, he literally has it in a picture frame. He's like, I'll just own that. Oh wait, I wanted to have, oh, sorry, hit the wrong. So this would be a very short video, random, but it would be fun to see what you ate I ate in a day living in the AUB, and share some of your favorite recipes that you've mentioned, like tater tot casserole, etc. For me, that would be a very short video, because there was a lot of days I didn't eat a lot because we just didn't have the food until dinner. And then it seems like we always at least ate a dinner, even if it was like, we ate watermelon and popcorn a lot for dinner. That was sometimes our meal, or potatoes. We always had potatoes, but I feel like that would be a very, very small video for us. Corey was the one who had the best food supply, I think, on the planet. Yeah, way better than 90% of us ever ate.
Yeah. Corey, did the excommunication set you free? Absolutely. But one of the best things that ever happened in my life. It really is. As I look back through my whole life experience, and it was just, it didn't only impact me. I was actually talking to a couple brothers, and they were very thankful to watch me go through the excommunication paper or process. They made it so difficult. And that's what my brother was saying. If they had made it easy and had the love of Christ of come in, you are super important, like we told you growing up, that you are God's chosen children, and embraced us. If the community had embraced us, we would probably still be loyal polygamist men within the community. And yet, because of the way that they behaved, the way that the hypocrisy of some of the men that excommunicated us, it actually freed not only myself, but a lot of my family from even believing those righteous leaders of the community. They're like, yeah, these guys are not truly righteous community leaders. Why do we have them in charge of our community? And so it actually opened, I feel like, my eyes to, and shifted the way my life was or became, and sent me down a road. Most of the hard things that I've done in my life going through this excommunication, it was difficult at the time, but it transferred my life into such a better reality because I went through it. So, and actually helped those family members around me too, who were like, well, if he's being excommunicated, yeah, this place isn't right for us. We're leaving too. And so I had a lot of brothers follow me out of the community, a lot of siblings, sisters too, even that followed me out of the community, family members, so that we're no longer a part of the community because of the way we had been treated. They felt the injustice. And so, and I haven't got into a lot of detail, but those men that actually were part of my excommunication, the hypocrisy, the stuff that they had done, and they sat there as judges. And so that made it even more of a peace in my soul that this place was not the right place for me, because how could these men sit up on there and judge me as harshly as they were judging me, that they were not going to look at any sort of forgiveness, or what is it, the redemption of, we were raised in the Mormon church, or where the redemption of Christ was the most important thing, the atonement. And these guys did not believe in that at all. They believed in it for themselves, but they weren't going to allow us to have that redemption at all. So, yep, best thing that ever happened to me. Sorry.
Well, and now, just on that note, that is one thing people have said, what are some of the modalities that you guys have used to heal? That is one of the things that I would say is the most important modality, or the most effective modality, is when a traumatic experience like that happens to you, like Corey getting excommunicated. Mm-hmm. If you can go back and find the things to be grateful for out of that experience, and make a list, like literally physically write out that list of all the things that you can be grateful for, even if you don't believe it in that moment, even if you're like, man, I don't see how there's anything to be grateful for, but I guess this could be, and write those things out. And that is one of the fastest ways, in my experience, to heal yourself. Mm-hmm. That is one of the fastest ways to take something from being a poison and a toxin in your life and turning it into being a blessing, or, something to be grateful for. And then you're going to shift as a person. And again, even if you don't believe it, could you possibly be grateful for? Because at the time, there's no way you were grateful for the excommunication. You felt done wrong. You felt beat up and bruised. But at the same time, now, 10 years later, 20 years later, you can go back and see the things to be grateful.
It was even a couple, I don't know, forced me to wake up and choose a different way of life. Start to look for other possibilities. And all of a sudden my life got so much larger, so much brighter, so much more. It just became more. All of a sudden, all these restrictions that I felt like were holding me in, that I had this box or this line that I had to follow, or I was going to be damned. Now I was damned, so I could choose any
and our daughter-in-law,
any scenario that I wanted to make my life better here in this worldly existence. And so I was excited to see what I could create, and so I started studying every other different kind of healing. Started reading books that were banned, that weren't encouraged to be read within the community. I started just doing so much more and learning so much more. So,
well, and our daughter-in-law says to him, he already got excommunicated. Now he's just going to go for a high score. So she teases him all the time about that. Thank you for, it was definitely an eye-opening event for most of the family. AUB exposed themselves.
Yep.
So we have new mods, which I just made them mods because they're family and it's easy. But yeah, thank you so much to Corey's other sister for that comment. Because it was a huge eye opening. And then from what I remember, one of our brothers was excommunicated because he went to a bishop to confess and change his life around. That brother is one of the best examples out there. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the sad part is I feel like in the AUB, and again, it's probably this way in other groups too. We just can go by our experience in the AUB, is that any excuse that they can have to kick out certain members, certain male members, they will do anything they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so if this particular male member went in and said, hey, I want to turn my life around, I want to be I want to be active, and it's like, nope, too bad, get out. Now, if one of the girls had done that, it would have been a whole different experience. It would have been, okay, let's get you rebaptized. Let's go through all the steps. Let's do whatever we need to do. And now let's get you married to somebody. What?
Because you went through that part.
Oh, because that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you lived through that part.
Yeah. Oh, I love this too. It was refreshing to know that you have your own direct connection with your creator instead of going through a corruptible men. Yep. And I agree with that, because most of the time we didn't know that we were taught literally from birth that you don't have your own connection to God. You have to go through your priesthood leader, your priesthood lineage. And that's where you have to get your connection, which is really sad because you're taught to pray to God on your own for personal inspiration and personal revelation. We were taught that. But if it contradicted anything that a leader said, then it was like, nope. Again, now you have nefarious revelation.
Well, and you should check in with that revelation and with an earthly leader, right, to make sure that it falls along with his. Now, if he says yes, then it's not nefarious revelation. Yes, I agree with that revelation. You're doing it correctly. But if you just go and get your revelation on your own and, hey, this is how I'm going to live my life or take care of my family, well, you didn't check in with the right authority. And so now it is nefarious.
So personal revelation is very encouraged unless it contradicts something that they don't like. Let's see. I have to run. Thanks for another fantastic live. If you keep doing them this same time every week, I'll block out this time so I can stay the whole time. Always sending love to both of you and the chat. Yes, we are going to try to start very regularly going live every Wednesday. Wednesdays and Fridays tend to be our two best days that we can do lives. And other than we just have a little guy's baseball season going on right now, but his baseball season ends next week. So we'll be wrapping up the live here in about 15 minutes so we can go to baseball. But yeah, Wednesday. So if you guys like our lives and you want to join in on the chats, we will be making them more of a regular thing every Wednesday. What we're going to say? We're going to ask Mom a question.
Mom a question. Dad was supposed to get revelation for the family, right? And check in. Were the wives encouraged to get revelation for the family?
Not for the family.
Or for the
family, but for my family,
for your,
my children.
Okay. So yeah, my mom was encouraged to get revelation for her children and herself, but not for the family. My dad was encouraged to get it for the family. And I love that movie. So yep, I should be Neil from
and
Matrix.
that is one of the differences too. So, and again, I feel like we see this play out in Sister Wives. We see this play out where one wife is not supposed to be getting revelation for all of the family members. That one wife can get revelation or direction, if you will, or connection for her and her children, but it should not. At least this is how I was taught, and I could be wrong if you were taught something different. But she should not be going and getting a revelation or anything for another wife and all of her children. But in Sister Wives, we see that happen with Robin. Robin steps in and oversteps all of the time with the other wives and the other children. And so that is one of the examples. That's what will start to tear a family apart, is not necessarily the wife doing that. It's the husband allowing her to do it and then following her direction and guidance and not doing it himself. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yep. So basically, yeah, the way that we grew up was, yes, the wife was supposed to get revelation, but if a wife is becoming a squeaky wheel, and controlling the husband, then the other women are going to lose respect for that husband's authority. Or maybe. So Alice, yeah,
she does not like
would be
that.
disappointed or disobedient to the.
She does not want some other wife making her choices for her, right? Because what's funny is, even though we were taught these things, step in line, get in line, if you're a woman, get in line, a lot of women don't like to do that, huh?
Some of us are rebellious.
She says some of us are rebellious.
Nefarious. Yeah.
When Plig Kid 69 says, when AUB exposed themselves, it was awkward. Their endowment wasn't as near as big as they were bragging. So so we've got a couple family members online. Well, your family, I guess they're my family members too, but they're directly yours. So yeah, sometimes we'll get a lot of the kids online, and we love it because it refers. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I would probably be excommunicated minutes in. I open my mouth and my mom speaks, and then my father, and I was taught to never let a man disrespect or put me down. I was the youngest daughter, and my dad, one in his late 70s, called my mom and I the roosters. That's funny. It's very true. Except for that in the AUB, definitely you would be excommunicated for that. Or not excommunicated, but you'd be kicked to the curb.
Well, you'd have been chastised. I don't think you as they would send threatening letters. So, yeah, Mama, you were sent a threatening letter by the priesthood council that you should leave Dad, right?
I went to a meeting, was told I should leave him.
Yeah. And since you didn't, you were disobedient. And if I remember correctly, reading the paperwork, it basically said that if you stayed with Dad, you would be taking on the same crimes that he did. That's what it said. But yeah, and you didn't believe who wrote those.
She said that's what the paperwork said, but that's not what God teaches.
Yep. And she didn't believe or trust the leadership who was sending her those letters, so she ignored them, which makes her again disobedient. What's the word? What's the verbiage that on the 27?
27 laws of celestial marriage. I know. I got to go back and remember that verbiage.
Yeah.
That she was disobedient. Yeah.
Well, now it was. Oh my goodness, that's unruly. Oh my goodness, I'll remember it later. But
we'll have to talk about it next.
Yeah, that's what she was. She was being disobedient to her priesthood leaders, which is a no-no within the community. But when you don't have any trust or faith within those community leaders, then yep, you tend to listen to them less and less. So
yep. It's so true. And Rosa, I agree with this. I'm not a get in line type of person. Probably the reason why I was never pursued by a married dude. I think it's so funny. I love this one. Robin declared she was Cody's soulmate before they were even engaged. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask Christine, because I wanted to know how she felt about that. We did an actual video on that where we covered, because that is a huge no-no, right? Did you hear what I said? So Robin declared that Cody was her soulmate before they were ever married or engaged. She declared that on the TV show. And I had a big issue with that, about any woman declaring that, because it elevates you above the other wives, makes
as a soulmate.
As a soulmate too. Like, absolutely have your companions, but it was pretty presumptuous on her part when they weren't even engaged. We're not.
I don't watch Sister Wives, so I'm
She
not.
doesn't watch
Mhm.
the show. Again, see, we said most people don't watch it. Thank you, Jody, for that super chat. She says, "Do you think weddings are less valid without the big, fancy, expensive showings? Does it really need to be based? Does it really need to be based on religion?" I
don't know how to.
Our second marriage, we was nothing like it was just Corey and I and his brother, my sister, and we went down to the county courthouse. I don't necessarily think it has to be an elaborate religious thing. I don't. I don't feel like for me it seems I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but when Corey and I got married the first time, we spent less than $1,000 on our wedding because I had 3 children already. I could not justify taking money away from what I needed to do to take care of my children. And we had family members that helped out, and we only invited just our immediate family, like our siblings. And so Corey's siblings, my siblings, and we still had 150, almost 200 people there. And we didn't do aunts and uncles. On Corey's side, we did because his mom, just has a few siblings. But I didn't invite aunts and uncles. It was just mostly our immediate family. And we did get married in our church, in the church house, in a Mormon church house, and the Mormon bishop married us. But we spent less than $1,000. We did not do the big hoopla thing because, again, we had children. And I just don't feel like that's necessary. I don't feel like the grandness of all of that is necessary. Now, some people do believe that if you don't go through this entire ceremony thing, then that's not valid for some reason. If you don't go, like the Catholic weddings are incredibly, that was very incredible to watch. That was a lot of stuff.
Well, I think so. I don't know what do you think that weddings are less valid without the big, fancy, expensive showing? Weddings within, so if you're talking about the AUB, usually the wedding part of it is a very private matter within their endowment house. It isn't showy. It shouldn't be showy. It's usually with multiple different people getting married that month. And that is a plural celestial marriage. If you want to put on a worldly marriage, that's outside, or you can do the reception. Like you guys had went through the endowment house, but you did the reception afterwards where everybody was welcome to come. But and we got what's called an earthly marriage. I mean, it's recorded with the our state. We get a tax write-off for it. A heavenly marriage is something different. You don't get the tax write-off. And the state usually doesn't know about it. It's documented within histories of the community. So, and those marriages are usually kept very secret. I don't know.
Yeah, in other religions.
Okay.
Well, what's sad is that every
religions.
religion believes if you're not married in their religion, then you're not really married.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm curious about that myself because in Catholicism, I don't know much about Catholicism at all. So I don't even actually want to pretend that I do because I really don't. I was just surprised. Like my brother had already been married for 12 years, 13 years, but they wanted to be married under the umbrella of the church. And it was a big, huge to do. And it was beautiful. And I love how they did everything, but and again, I won't go into too much detail. I want to respect their privacy on it. But it felt like they needed that big show for their family. I don't know, but it was wonderful. It was a beautiful experience.
And I don't know if that's correct too. Usually these special weddings within the AUB, within the LDS church are marriages for eternity.
Right.
Where just a standard marriage like ours would only be for time based on the religion. So I'm curious if the Catholic Church I think they do, because they say what's sealed here on earth is sealed in heaven. So you're probably getting sealed in heaven or married in heaven if you get married through the Catholic Church, just like they do in the AUB or the LDS Church too.
I'm not big on spending all that kind of money. For me, I would rather spend the money on a honeymoon where just the two of you go together. Yeah, I think a courthouse wedding is just fine. Honestly, we spent $50 and on our second wedding, $50. And then we went to Thai food afterwards, and we went and got some sushi, not sushi, but we went and got some pho afterwards, and it was just the four of us, and it was wonderful. It was great. We didn't even tell anyone about it, and I didn't feel the need to make a big production about it or anything like that. So, and even our first wedding, we did it at the church house. We spent less than $1,000. Like I said, we did a big dinner. Everyone came, and not dinner, but like a lunch thing, and it was wonderful. And really, it was about getting our family together. And I think we spent the most amount of money on the food is what we spent the most amount of money feeding our family. So let's see. Sharon says, yeah, thank you. I don't know enough about Catholicism. Former Catholic, 12 years of Catholic school. You can't even receive communion in the Catholic Church if you're divorced. It may have changed, but you never used to be able to. Okay. Yeah. See, I do not know enough about Catholicism. For Catholicism, it can be short if they just do the matrimony sacrament rituals, but some people like to have the full mass with a wedding, which is a much longer ceremony. Yeah, I think we were that's
what we were.
Yeah.
Hour and a half
I think we were there for a little over an hour. Yeah. And I agree with this one. I'd rather eat like a pig than throw a huge party. That's what we spent the majority of all of our money for our wedding. Our first wedding was $1,000 or was for food. And we had a big, huge lunch in there. Now on my first wedding, to my ex-husband, I traded most of that wedding. I didn't pay most of it out, but the wedding itself cost about $10,000. And that's back in 1991. That was a lot of money, but I traded for a local company to come out and redo my parents' yard. So my dad had 2 or 3 wives in the house at the time. And I traded. So that's where the bulk of the expense came from, is my parents got a brand new yard out of the whole thing. And then I was able to trade 90% of the wedding. I think I only actually paid out of pocket like $1,000 for that wedding, because I was a wheeler dealer at 16 years old planning a wedding for 500 people. And I was able to trade the majority of it. So let's see. Oh, yes. Yep. Corey can marry people. Yes. He can marry people.
Reverend.
All across the United States, he can.
No. So no, she's not telling the truth. There's a few states that I can.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you were good on every state.
No. I had to check which states I could, by law, which I could marry. Yeah. And I now know Georgia is one and Utah is one. There's certain states that you have to have specialized licenses in, but
for our kids' wedding.
I'm a reverend, so yes, I've now married 3 people, and they're all still married. So
yeah, he married 2 of our children.
Yeah, and my niece
and his niece. Yep. Oh, my sister is on here. Hey, Emily, good enough 444. So she has not been on a live for a minute. I keep telling her, she keeps saying, I want to come over and do a live with you guys, and then can't get her to actually come over here. So we would do it if she did. Let's see. Yeah, you're the nefarious reverend. I did not know you couldn't do.
I can't.
I did not know that.
There are certain states that has different regulations on.
Yeah, this wedding, they did a full mass and everything. It was, I appreciated it because I've never been to a mass ceremony, and I appreciate going and learning those kind of new things. It was very long, but it was very interesting too. I loved it. Emily says, I keep missing your lives.
Yeah, for $55, I got a little card that says I have priested again. I can marry people. It's kind of cool. So
yeah, it must be your live, Emily, because I don't think we're skipping. No one else has complained about it. Oh my gosh, we got somebody on here from Japan. Welcome. That's amazing. Rosilla, I think if you have a huge reception, that's what the big cost is. Yeah. In my large family, my large Italian family, usually church weddings and everybody brings a dish for the reception. Yeah, that is definitely, I wanted to get back up here to this question too.
What's that?
Or comment more. Oh, come on. Oh no, it keeps skipping. It's not going to let me do it. They asked if the AUB does renewal ceremonies. Have the AUB ever done renewal vows? No, not necessarily, not that I'm aware of, because it's a one and done. You go into the temple, you do your endowments, very similar to what, well, it's the same thing as the Mormon church, very similar to that. And so once you go through and do your endowments, then you do a sealing ceremony, and that's it for all time and all eternity. You can do your own like vow renewal outside of that if you wanted to. But the AUB does not do that. In the Mormon church, I think if you did something like that, it would be more of a just, hey, we've been married for 50 years. Let's do a vow renewal. Let's have the local bishop maybe marry us, but it would not be an actual ceremony type of thing. And the AUB did. No, I've never heard of anyone doing that in the AUB. So, what?
You can go through the temple again, but it's mostly just for kind of ceremony. You can always go through again for just, but it's not necessarily a renewal. It's just so that you're remembering the promises that you made within the in the temple. So
thank you so
people go in there a long time. So
yeah, thank you so much. Lindsay says, I have to go, but I feel so lucky that I got the opportunity to catch some of the live. Keep up the good work. This channel makes the world a better place to be.
Oh,
thank you so much. We really appreciate that. We really, those are my favorite kind of comments.
We've got to go here soon too.
Yeah, we're going to be, so we'll talk for about 5 more minutes, and then
St.
we have a
Louis.
little guys baseball game to go to. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Wait, I wanted to get to this one. Oh, come on. Congratulations. I think that is so exciting. Been married 42 years. It takes devotion. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I thank you for sharing that, because I absolutely think it's incredible when somebody can be married that long. Oh, I love it. Hi from St. Louis. I finally get to catch a live on this channel. Yay. And I know, and we're about to hang up here. So we will start going regularly. We have been for a couple of weeks doing lives on Wednesdays, but we're going to make it more of a regular thing to go every Wednesday that we can. And then, yeah, I agree with Lindsay's comment. Oh no, I finally catch a live and you are leaving in 5 minutes. I know we would stay and talk longer, but we got a little guy who somebody said to him the other day, are you in T-ball? And he got so wounded and so offended, because it's not T-ball. He's
Baseball.
now big enough that he does baseball. T-ball is where you hit it on the stick, and he's way more advanced than that. So he gets a little bit wounded if you comment on that. Oh,
Dad's family's from St. Louis, right? Dad's family's from St. Louis.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of family in St. Louis. So welcome, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Might be related to me somehow. So
yeah, been married 34 years. I agree. It takes a lot of effort. Thank you guys for sharing that. When we just went to the wedding, they did a wedding song, right? Where they had all the couples come out onto the floor, and they're like, if you've been married less than 10 years, go sit down. You've been married less than 20 years, go sit down. You've been married less than 25 years, go sit down. And Corey and I were like, what do we say? Because this year will be our 25-year anniversary. And we decided that we are going to claim the full 25 years, because even during our divorce, we still celebrated our anniversary together. We didn't miss one holiday. We didn't miss one anniversary. We celebrated it with our kids, which is normally what we do anyways. But yeah, we
still lived in the same house for 25 years. So
we did
25 years with a 2-year hiccup. So that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Trying to get, yeah. Oh, Spooky Mike is back. We're about to
Okay.
actually hang up here.
Thank you. There were rumors that Cody and Robin were going to do a vow renewal, probably struggling for content. Yeah.
That's what I
that
would
would-
say too.
That would be just something for the cameras, just like their first marriage for the cameras. They didn't get to film anything that
Was the actual
that was
ceremony.
the actual ceremony within the community. So you got to see, the cameras were invited to a reception for Robin and Cody.
But you didn't see the actual marriage.
Yeah. So if they're going to film a renewal, that's for Robin and Cody. That's for the TV cameras. It's nothing to do with their anything religious that they
Yeah.
have done.
I'm curious
So,
who they'll have do the renewal.
Cody.
He's going to renew his own vows.
Yeah, jump back and forth.
Oh my
So,
gosh, that's
yep.
funny. I'm
Yeah,
so
he'll just be
curious.
jumping back and forth because he's
But he
he's
could
a
always have
pastor
like
me
his
too.
best friend Nathan go get pasteurized.
Well,
But
whatever.
he could go have Nathan do or something like that.
He just wants to show his diversity as playing different parts. So he'll do pastor.
Yeah, if they do a vow
husband.
renewal, it will have absolutely nothing to do with the AUB. They don't have anything to do with the AUB, from my understanding now. And so it will have nothing to do with the actual church related.
Well, I need more information on metaphysical anatomy.
And the author,
author.
yeah, I will post that into the show notes. I'll do a link in the show notes for Amazon. We don't have an Amazon affiliation. I don't think. I think we were working on signing up for that.
We do
But
now, so.
yeah, but I'll still post that show
Yeah,
note in the show
we can do
notes so
that.
that you guys can get that, because it is literally a Bible for me. I have it everywhere.
My dad married himself to my mom. I know, it's awesome.
Are you serious?
You get to play the different.
Rosa says my dad married himself to my mom. That's
Do I?
hilarious.
Do you
So
take-
yeah, you were
I
actually
do.
good friends with Rosa's parents. So when we're off the live, I'll have to explain it to you a little bit more. But you know her parents, and you guys all converted at the same time into the AUB. Let's see. I wanted to get to this one. I love this. I've been celebrating Christmas Eve with my ex-husband for 35 years at his house. That's what's mature, loving parents do.
Mhm.
I agree with you. And it's interesting. So for years, my ex-husband would come here for Christmas Eve as well. And like he was here for a lot of the holidays, a lot of the birthdays. We would have him stay here with us. And then some of his addictive behavior got too toxic for our children.
Mhm.
And so we actually didn't even end that. He ended it with the behavior that he was doing. We didn't actually ever say, sorry, he can't come over anymore. He would just spend the night or spend the whatever holiday in, I don't want to like be too descriptive of what his patterns were, but he wasn't sober enough to be here at that point. So he chose to not come anymore, but we had him here for years because we felt like that was what was best for the kids. And until he became to the point where he was not sober enough to be a part of any of the activities. So so we didn't have him.
I'm not speaking as a pastor. I don't know. Do you even need an ordained minister for a vow renewal? Probably not. It's just you're not getting a new license. You're not getting anything new. You're just getting together, and probably it's a party. It's a reason for a party. So.
Okay. And I 100% agree with this. Marriage is a state of mind, not a piece of paper or a ceremony.
Yep.
I 100% agree with this. Honestly, I mean, without getting political, I think the government needs to stay out of marriage completely. I don't agree that the government should have anything to do with marriage. And if you are going to have something to do with marriage, then everybody should have the equal rights as everyone else if the government's going to put their nose in your.
Yep.
There you go. There's my 2 cents about that, because honestly, it's none of their business who you're married to or who you're not. But if you're going to give some legal benefits to some people for being married, every single person in that country should have the same benefits, in my opinion.
Jasmine Flores.
Um,
She's in this live. You can ask her.
Oh yeah. Emily is in this live. How's your sister Emily doing? Are you guys okay with your relationship? I hope I'm not asking too personal questions. I think Emily and I have probably gotten closer over the last 6 months than we have been in a couple of years. Although she is in the live, so she can answer that. But I would definitely say
Blink twice, Emily, if Melanie's answering for you.
but yeah, I would definitely say that her and I have gotten the closest we've been in a few years lately. I've been super proud of her and how much she has healed in the last little bit, because she's gone through some very traumatic things. I've been very proud of her with what she's been healing through. And so, yeah, she said, okay, here we go. It's got to pop up on this screen first. I can't put it on. So Emily just came back and said, I'm doing good. Mel and I have a great relationship. There we go. I've been out with some severe PTSD, but I'm just getting back on my feet. And again, we'll be posting more content soon.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. So she's been doing really good. I've been super proud of her, and hopefully she'll get back here soon. I think that she has a lot to share, and I'm excited to see where she's going to come with that. But yeah, I would definitely say right now, Emily and I, again, have had the closest relationship we've had in years, and I've loved it. Let's see. Sending love and healing vibes to you, Emily. Love you, Emily. You're the best. Thank you guys for being so supportive of her, because I know there's a lot that's been going on for her. And she says, thanks for hanging with me. Yay. I love your sister relationship with Emily. Glad to hear you are both doing well. Yeah, we definitely are. And it's been amazing to connect with her again over the last few years. When I went through, I'll share just a little brief story before we hang up here. When I was going through my divorce, I was very scared to have Emily find out anything about it, because I thought she would be, out of all of my siblings, the most judgmental of me, and the most no, I didn't think she wouldn't be kind, because Emily's just loving by nature.
Mhm.
That's just who she is. But I thought she would be the most judgmental of me out of all of my siblings. And she actually was the one who loved me the deepest through the darkest moments. And so that's just how she is. And with all of our flaws that we all tend to have, sometimes you just need those people who show up for you when you very least expect it. And that's how I feel like Emily showed up for me during that time frame. And but I didn't want her to know, I didn't want to disappoint her, because I felt like what I was going through, I was so disappointing to everybody. And she, not one single time through that whole experience did she make me feel ashamed or embarrassed of myself. And so I love her for that. Okay, somebody says, thank you guys. Thank you, Corey's mom. I miss my oldest sister and dad. Tell your moms and Mel happy birthday.
Happy
tell
Mother's
your moms.
Day.
Yeah, say happy birthday, or
Happy Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. Thank you. Yeah. So we might try to go live again this week. We'll see if we can, but we definitely appreciate everyone being on here. Thank you guys so much for being so respectful in our chat. We really appreciate that. And let's see, hopefully we, let's see. Oh, gosh, I kind of want to get to that question, but we'll answer it on the other one. Or do you want to do it now? Which one are you looking at?
Family law group.
Yeah. Do you think polygamy should be legal for consenting adults? Again, I don't think the government should be in any marriages at all. But yes, for consenting adults, if you're going to give tax benefits and certain legal rights to certain classes of people, then you should give it to everybody, no matter what.
Here's the only reason I think yes.
That's a tricky question.
It is. It really is. It's so complicated because a lot of the wives that are married to within the polygamous group have no legal connection to him at all. If they leave, usually they just leave, and they have, and I don't know if they probably could get alimony
to legally protect themselves. Yes, I think it should be.
So, and you would see if polygamy was legal, you would see the men going, no, we're not going to live we're not going to legally bind ourselves to 9 different women, because if they left, it would be so complicated of how things were divided. And so even if it was legal, I don't think many men would legally marry multiple wives.
Yeah.
Financial
I think if they legalized
reason
it, that would be the downfall of the religion.
of polygamy. I think it would destroy polygamy. Because then, but again, I don't, it is so complicated in many ways. So,
well, and I mean,
I don't think any of the communities would go out. They're taught to mistrust the government anyhow.
Mhm.
So only one wife would legally get married for tax reasons, things like that. The other ones would still do it in secret through their
right.
And the man would be giving them excuses why they couldn't legally marry 2 or 3 of them, because he doesn't want to be financially liable for 2 or 3 families, I think. So
Right. I mean, and look at here's my mom still going through it. We're still in that legal process right now. So as we wrap up, I want to remind everybody about holding out help. And then justprotect.org. Justprotect.org is where you can donate to help for the legal costs and legal expenses of these legal and then of course holdingouthelp.com. We leave both of those links at the top of both of our at all of the show notes. So if you have the ability, we always appreciate that if you donate to that, we always appreciate that. Because that really truly does go to real people that have real needs. I want to get this last comment here and thank you guys so much for this chat. It says, thank you, Mel and Corey and everyone. One of my healing modalities is right here with all of you. So thank you. Thank you so much. We really genuinely appreciate that. And watch for our 27 laws of celestial marriage. That will be coming up again. If you don't follow us on any of the other social medias, it's free for you to follow us. It's just Notes to Self 444 on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and of course here on YouTube. So feel free to give us a follow. And anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Thanks, great.
We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.